Great. Okay, good. I see that. Thank you, whoever reminded me of that one. Let me move this away a bit. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So I'll try to answer your questions. Mr. Smith, I see it says you're typing something privately, but everyone can see that window. So life goes on. All right. That's, at least we know that much. Okay, let me just go over this junk stuff again that I was talking about, static typing and dynamic typing. Python is a dynamic typing program, typed program. It figures out what the data type or the type of object that you're using or creating as the program is running. Can you hit record? Oh, God. Look, I don't see. Okay, let me see. Where's record? I don't. Let me try.
It's at the bottom of your
record on this computer. Okay, I'm going to hit record. You sure you want this? You're going to get it then. I'm hitting record now. All right. Okay, so I got record, and great job, Professor. Well, great. It's better than the last time, at least. It's better than the last time. Okay, anyway, onward, ever onward. Yeah. Okay, I got to stop laughing. Here we go. Why don't we do this? No, that's not going to work. I think the chat thing is going to work well enough. So let me go over the program again. So prompt is a string. How do I know it's a string? Because I'm entering a string on okay, line 3, it says print prompt equals stuff between the quotation marks. That's called an assignment statement. What happens is you copy the value of the thing on the right-hand side of the equal sign, and that becomes the value of the object on the left-hand side of the equal sign. In this case, the object is a string object, and the name of the object is prompt. Okay, now, line 4, that is the input function that is by default connected to your keyboard. So whatever you type in is copied from the keyboard and stored in the variable name. Now, everything is initially stored as a string. Now, you can override that. Okay, look, I see a question, Mr. Clark. Is prompt always a string? Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be a string. See, I think I do this later on. If you scroll down a little bit, you look here and I do in1 equals int on line 10. That converts in1, which is a string, and converts it to an integer. So you can actually convert from one type to another with these conversion functions. Then on line 13, I convert in1 back to a string. Now, in the beginning, as you're learning this thing, I would not be so fancy. And I would just read the things in as strings and just convert them once to an integer and not go back and forth. It's up to you. But you want to try to keep it simple so it doesn't get confusing. And then as you learn it better, you can go on to bigger and better things. Okay, let's keep moving. Integer is a number. I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. An integer are the counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and like that. -52 and so on are integers. You have other data types called floating point data types. We have a decimal fraction. Again, I'm trying to keep it very simple for right now. So we're just doing integers and strings. Yeah, a single letter, Mr. Clark, because I see your message there. A single letter can be a string. An entire book can be a string. The difference between a string and integer is actually being shown in this program, Mr. Kitis. And I will show you that right now. Mr. Kitis, I will answer this. I will answer your question as I go through this. It's actually going to try to answer it for you. So I start off line 2, prompt is a string, name is a string. And it prints out your name is, and you see the addition operator right there, the add symbol? That's good. When you're doing strings, it's a concatenation operator, as we're going to see in a moment. And so I say in1 equals input the first number, then in2 equals input the second number. Now it says in3 equals in1 plus in2. Now it's not adding them now because N1 and N2 are strings. So here, let me run the program for you. Let me go here, move this out of the way. So I'm going to enter my first name. Oh God, let me go up here. Okay. Fred Smith. Oh, Smith, whatever. Your name is Fred Smith. In the first number, 5. In the second number, 8. Now, before I hit that, now that takes care of lines 5, 6, and lines 6 and 7. Now we're about to do line 8. When I hit the enter key, line 8 and everything else is going to execute. Before I hit the enter key, what do you think the value of N1 plus N2? Okay, going back, look at line 8. You evaluate the right-hand side of this assignment statement. Well, I already put the answer in comments, but anyway. And then you assign the result of this thing here to N3. Now, what do you think the value of N3 is going to be? Where's my chat stuff? Nobody wants to say. Oh, that's right, 58. Wait. Yeah, 58, right. You're absolutely right. Because it can, oh, wrong guy. Okay, there. Yeah, 58. That's because I'm adding the strings. This is called, when you're doing it with strings, this is a concatenation operator. When you do it with addition, it's called obviously addition. When you're doing with integers, rather, it's called the addition operator because you're actually doing adding. But how this, let's call it the plus operator. How the plus operator works depends on the data type of the objects you're applying it to. So if they're strings, you concatenate. If they're integers, you add them together. Let me see. Now, Mr. Kitus, does that answer your question? You asked me, what is the difference between a string and an integer? Okay. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, that's it. That's the whole program. Let's see what else is in here. Okay. So on line 13 and 14 and 15, I convert N1, N2, and N3 back to integers. To strings, rather. And so now let's go through this. This is called, this whole thing right here is going to be a string. All of that thing there that I've highlighted. Okay, I hope you can, I'm looking at line 16. Everything between the parentheses is one big string. Now, and because N1, N2, and N3 are all strings, that plus sign is a concatenation operator. This thing right here is a string literal. So you're actually going to see space plus space. And then, okay, this is a concatenation operator. You're joining N1 to this string literal. Then you're concatenating that string to N2. So you got one big string. You got a string going from, let me do this. You got a string going from here to here. Now, the next concatenation operator joins the equal sign, and the spaces go in there too. So it joins the equal sign to that. And then the final concatenation operator joins the N3 to it. Let me move this out of the way for you. There. And so you see, wait a second here, one moment. Wait, what happened? Oh, yeah, I faked it. Wait a sec. What's that? You got print. Oh, there's one print statement. Yeah, that's concatenation. That's addition. But yeah, but see that? Yeah, okay, now I see what I did. Yeah, I simply converted 13 back to a string there. And that's why you get this answer here, why you get the answer up here. Okay, how are we doing? Let's see about your comments. Okay. Okay, it changes how they function, yes. Good to everyone. Okay. Let's see. All right. That is actually, let me find my book here. Okay. I said, I recommended it in the, excuse me, in one of the announcements I sent up, and I said I uploaded some YouTube videos by this guy whose name I now can't remember, but there's 17 of them. We only need the first 10. They're very, very good videos. So this guy really goes very deeply into into Python. If you want to follow them, he does a bunch of two-dimensional games with some nice graphics. Python is a very good graphics program, has very good graphics, and so on. Okay, so that's our first program. And I didn't give you we didn't really have a lot to do today. And so if you want, we can cut this. Sorry, I knocked over a bottle of water. Let's see. If you don't have, I don't need to stop early today. I mean, I can go on until 10. Yeah, fortunately, I learned to put the water on a different table for my computer. I learned that much. I once destroyed a keyboard by spilling a Coke on it. Anyway, but that's done. Where was I? Okay, so as long as this is really all you need for the next two homework problems. If you want, you can start on those right now, and you can look at those. If you want, I can go on though. The next thing we're going to do are conditional statements or if statements. See, there's three kinds of control structures. I'll explain what those are in just a moment. There's three kinds of control structures in all programming languages. They're called sequence, selection, and iteration. Now, these are a sequence. What we have now is a program with a sequence control structure. All that means is that the statements execute in sequence. You start at the first line and go on down to the last line. They don't deviate. They don't switch to other paths of execution. There's only one path of execution, and it's always the same thing. What we're going to do next week is we're going to do selection structures. So based on the value of some conditions either true or false, based on whether a condition is true or false, we can select many different paths of execution. But I thought that I would save that. Excuse me one moment. I'm trying to find something. I thought that I would save that for next week rather than overburden you with a great deal of things right now. I'm not sure if everyone is absorbing this. Let's do this. Why don't you start on the homework now? One second. Do we have to change the strings back to integers in order to get the program to multiply and divide? Yes. You can't multiply. Let's see what happens, what it'll do if you try to, let's see. Let me see, I'll do in4 equals quote 4 quote, and in5 equals quote 5. I'm just going to make this quote 8. And I'll do in6 equals in5 divided by in4. Now we should get a runtime error. Let's see. Let me move this out of the way. Enter your name. Oh, God. Hold on. Okay. Joe Smith. Okay. 14:8. Okay, there we go. Now, if you see the error, it says in6 equals in5 divided by in4. Type error, unsupported operand type for string and string. So it's telling with that when it says unsupported operand type, it means that the division operator will not work on strings. So you can't divide strings. Let's see if we can multiply strings. Let me go back here. So it's actually, that's a really good question because it's okay to see how the program runs when it's working correctly, but it's also very good to see how it runs when it's not working correctly. So at least you get to see an error message. So let me run this again. Joe, whatever. 4, 8. Okay, there. So that multiplication operator doesn't work on strings either. Okay, so now we know that. Let me give you one more thing where the thing is going to crash. Okay, so I'll enter my name, John Doe. Okay, now the first number I'm going to enter is X. The next number is Y. Now, see, it's okay reading X and Y, reading into N1 and into X and Y because they're strings, and everything's a string. So I hit the enter key now, though. Now the value of N1 is X, the value of N2 is Y, but those are strings. So let's see what happens now. And it says, okay, type most, blah, 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 blah. See, it will allow you to concatenate X and Y. That's fine. X plus Y equals XY. That's great. But now it says when you try to convert those to integers, you cannot convert X and Y to integers. So again, that error occurred. Let me move this out of the way. That error occurred on line 10. See, it was okay with line 9. That's this part right here. X plus Y equals XY. That was fine. It got a little bit upset, though, when it tried to convert X to an integer. Because X is just it's just a character I typed in from the keyboard. And that's what you get. That's what the input function returns is the key, the character X. And it tried to convert X to an integer, and it couldn't do it. So there's your error message. It says in PY line 9, convert N1 to integer, invalid literal. Notice, by the way, that it stopped the program at that error. It didn't go on to look at why. It just halted it as soon as it couldn't go on. As soon as it couldn't do the conversion, it stopped. Okay, let's go back to the chat thing and see how we're doing now. Okay, that must be me. Okay, let me stop that, get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Okay, any more questions? Oh, wait, do we have to change strings back? Yes, you do have to do that. You can't, the point of the thing I just showed you was that you cannot do some operations on certain data types. So that you just saw an example of that. There's operation you can perform on strings called parsing, where, well, you can find out the length of the string. You can separate the string into pieces. So you had Fred Smith as a string, and you can parse it and separate into Fred and Smith. It's called parsing, obviously. Okay. All right. So other questions? Okay, wait. The assignment homework 3 only says upload. Wait. The assignment homework 3 only says upload your Python project here. Are we working on homework 4 instead of homework 3? Well, yes, homework. I gave you homework 3 last week. You can just upload it. Just type it in. I think it just says enter, just going to enter. I think it just asks you to enter a string and then print the string out again. I think, I don't want to erase this thing, but all homework 3 does is this. Homework 3 is just asking you to do something like this. That's it. Not even that fancy. It just asks you to read this name and then output the name immediately. Well, okay. I see how that works. Mr. Clark, that's all the things that everyone, excuse me. The things that I highlighted, lines 3, 4, and 5 in this Python program is all you had to do for homework 3. Mr. Kim, you don't really have to upload. Okay, one other little thing. Yes, Mr. Kim, you are correct. Mr. Safi. Oh, God. Okay, Mr. Safi, we're not doing Visual Basic anymore. We're not doing Visual Basic anymore. I assure you, Mr. Safi, you're not going to lose for learning Python. Microsoft stopped support. It's going to stop supporting Visual Basic, and it'll probably be spun off to a third party who will support Visual Basic. They'll support Visual Basic, but Python is really, really the what is the word? The go-to language now. The very popular up and coming language. You're not going to lose anything by by learning Python. Now, I will grade your Python, your Visual Basic homework if you want. But if I were you, I would start in with a Python. You leave Visual Basic alone. No, I'm laughing because you sort of have me over a barrel because it actually is a Visual Basic class. Yes, Mr. Safi, why don't you do Python as instead of Visual Basic rather than as well as Visual Basic, so I don't have to do 2 lessons at the same time. But again, I would really hope you would do that. How do we save the Python to upload? Okay, the thing you do, it's right here. You look at my screen, you move it all the way over to the left. Now, I see why chat was so inadequate. You move this thing over to the left-hand side of the screen to the left border of your code. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, you've got these borders that you can move around. This is the right border that gets rid of your output screen. It makes your output screen bigger, smaller. This is your code screen right here to make that bigger or smaller. Now, sometimes the code screen hides something now, these are how you add files or folders to your project, which we're not going to do right now. Add files you can do, but we're not going to add any folders at the moment. Now, if I move this to the left, I see this thing. This has a really technical name, which some of you might know, but I don't know. And I click on that, and it says download as zip. So you can upload files and download and upload folders into your particular project or your replit or whatever they call it. And you can download a file. Now, when you do that, it's going to zip the thing into a folder. Let me just download this, and I'll show you what you get. Now, you get these weird names, by the way, but you can always rename them. Okay, this is it. So I got main.py. That can be kind of tricky, but you can just upload the py file, which stands obviously for Python. Or you can upload the zip file. You don't have to kill yourself one way or the other. If you're not that familiar with zipping, great, fine. Just upload the zip file. It won't kill anybody. Okay, let me get my chat thing back again. Did that answer your question, Mr. Clark? I see the thank you. Good, great. Okay. All right, so we're going to start on the homework. And again, Mr. Safi, I'll grade both of them. I actually like Visual Basic very much, actually. It's really nice. See, Python separates, you can learn the GUI part of graphical user interface. GUI is called a graphical user interface. You can learn the GUI part of Python separate from the code part, which is what I'm looking at now. Visual Basic integrates them. So the code part and the GUI part are together, right in one project. It means you have to upload more stuff to me, but it really, you learn both of them at the same time rather than separately. Whether that's good or bad. It says failed to connect, retrying. That's a message from Replit, not from the chat thing. Okay, oh, that's to Salvador Smith. What do I type? Hi. Okay. So what we can do is start on the homework. I'm not going to give you any classwork this week. I didn't want to do that because I wasn't really sure how I was going to do with this the thing here, the Zoom. With the Zoom thing. With a Zoom. Actually, I don't really mind doing Visual Basic and Python at the same time. It's just going to be a little difficult. I'm not sure. That really won't work out too well. Well, no, yes, I understand that was a problem with Visual Basic. Mr. Safi does have Visual Basic. And I wouldn't make the guys who can't use Visual Basic install Visual Basic on their computers use it. But I was thinking, though I'm thinking not very enthusiastically about doing both. It would just be very difficult to do both in this setting. Essentially, I'm very unfamiliar. Um, See, I accidentally created two Zoom window or two Zoom sessions. I suppose I could create a Zoom session for Visual Basic and a Zoom. Miss Lopez, you are. Oh, what's that? You are better off if you want to take 141. You are better off learning. What is this thing? Python than VB. Let me hit that in there. Oh, I didn't have to say that, did I? At any rate, I mean, type it, I mean. Visual Basic is let me see if I have some Visual Basic program. I think I showed you some at the beginning of the class. Okay. But back to Miss Lopez's question. You're better off. See, Python looks more like Java than Visual Basic does. Okay, I have a screenshot here. I'm supposed to download it. Okay. Let me put this on my desktop. Let's see. Let's hope this is not a. Well, let's see what it is. Show desktop. And this is a screenshot. Your screen sharing is paused. That's not good. Okay. Thank you. It sure is. So how do I start it though? Well, that makes sense. Resume share. Okay, thank you so much for that. That's why we need chat. Okay. I hope my screen sharing is no longer paused. Now, where's my chat thing though? Oh, there it is. Chat. There's chat. Okay. Okay. My screen sharing, I hope, is no longer paused. Thank you for that message, Mr. Smith, and that screenshot. Again, as I become more I have this problem occasionally with Python Replit where it fails to connect, but that's me, not you. And that's my computer and my internet connection that's causing that. Though I don't know what it is. I hope you're not having the same problem. Again, back to what I was saying. We can start on the homework 4, the 2 problems in homework 4 right now. They're very, very simple. I've got to turn on the light in this thing here. Ow. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. If you want, I can show you some conditional statements called decision statements. If you think we haven't done enough today, I will show you some Boolean statements then. We'll start easy. All right. So sure. Yes, we would love to. Okay. Let me move this out of the way. All right. I'm having a slight problem. Let me see. All right, let's go into here. Let me get my code stuff back. Wait. Yeah, I'm still failing to connect to. It's trying to save stuff on my thing. Okay, let me go to let me go to Windows. I mean, another program here. Because it keeps trying to connect. I might. Yeah, see, it's loading, and All right, that's taking a long time. Oh, wait, no, 1 second. Hi, I'm in a class right now. I have to call you back at 10 o'clock. Bye. All right. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so yeah, it's still trying to connect. So let me go to Word. Connected. Good. All right, let me download this thing. If you want me to send this to you, I will. I'm going to start another one. So I'm going to download this. All right, there we go. And I'll just get rid of all this stuff. Well, no, I don't have to get rid of all of it. In fact, oh God, come on. All right, there we go. All right, let me get rid of some of this. We don't need a lot of it. All right, so, oh God, come on. All right, it's still fumbling around with this thing. One moment. Hello? Great. All right, it's still trying to connect. Okay, let me just get back. Let me go to Word. We'll get to that later. Okay. Your screen sharing is paused again. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. All right, so it's failing to connect. Let's see. All right. File, new document. All right. We're still connected? Great. Okay. So these are called relational operators. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Now, I got a comma there? Yeah, comma. This is equal to. Okay, that requires a little bit of explanation. You have two equal signs joined together. See, because the assignment operator is one equal sign, and the two things, the comparison operator. So let me go. And this, of course, is not equal to. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 6 of them. Great. Okay, good. I'm still recording this. Good grief. All right, 1 second here. Okay, let me see if I'm back in Replit. Oh, there it is. Let's see. There. I think we're back. Yeah, we're back. Good. Okay, let me get rid of this junk. I'm not going to use any strings, though. The concatenation operators. I mean, those operators work with strings too. Okay, so those integers. So here, let's try this one. Print. Let's try in4. Let's call it B4 or B1 equals N1 less than N2. And we'll just do a print N1. I'm sorry, B1, excuse me. And let's run this thing. Uh-oh. Print B1, string is a collection of arbitrary. Okay. I think I got a comment somewhere. One moment. Oh, yeah, I messed it. Okay. I took out the comment thing. The single line comment is just a pound sign like that. Oh God, what have I done? Okay, so this should be, okay, I see what I did. All right, there we go. Okay, so what did it again? Okay. All right, there we go. Let's try it again. Oh, wait. Oh, that name thing is still there. Okay, Fred. 1, 2. Okay, now these are, we've already seen this. This is the one I wanted to see. Let's scroll this down here. Okay, so B1 is the value of this expression. So because is it and the value of this expression, you evaluate this, you're really asking the question, is N1 less than N2? Okay, we're still sharing. Let me go back to chat. Let's go back to chat here. Oh God, where's chat? Okay, there we go, chat. Okay, so we're still sharing, I assume. I can't see what you're sharing right now. Can anyone else? We can't see what we're doing. Yeah, we can see what you're doing now. Yeah, apparently when sometimes it turns the chat thing off. I mean, not chat thing, but the screen sharing thing off. And I just have to look at this thing up here and it'll say chat is paused. I mean, screen share is paused. Okay. All right. So, okay. So you can see this thing over here. And when I compare, let's just get rid of the rest of this stuff. Okay. So here we go. Let me get rid of your name. We don't need your name because I'm gonna download this to I'm gonna upload this to you after class. We just need the numbers now. Okay. Let me get rid of the rest of the comments. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So let's do the rest of them. Let's just do them all. B2 equals N1, equals N1 less than or equal to N2. B3 equals, let's print it out first. Print B2. Now this should come out true also. Oh, well, let's do it again. Let's see. I'll do it in the first number 5, in the second number 5. Now, in this case, it's false that N1 is less than N2, but it's true that N1 is less than or equal to. That or thing is going to be very important as you go deeper into these programming languages, because you're saying that in order for B2 to have a value of true, one of two things must be true. Either N1 equals N2 or N1 is less than N2. Now, in this case, N1 is equal to N2, so it's certainly less than or equal to N2. All right, now I'm going to get two trues. So I'm going to put 5 and 8. Oh, wait. Christ. I think I just stopped my program. One moment. Let's try this again. Okay. And the first number 3, the second number 5. So this time we got two trues because N1 is less than N2, and N1, of course, is less than or equal to N2. Any comments on that one? Your computer is Helen Keller. Uh-oh. Wait. No, Helen Keller was blind. She couldn't speak, and she couldn't hear. So I can speak. So I'm not completely Helen Keller. I'm 1 second. I'm Stevie Wonder. Sort of. Well, he was blind. What second? Not you. Well, somebody. I'm not sure I have those sense things mixed up, but whatever. So I don't know. Okay, so how are we doing there with the two relational? They're called relational operators. There's 6 of them. Did you just call to tell us you love us?
Oh, like Steve.
How do I respond to that? I can't respond. Happy little programs. I'm going with Bob Ross. I don't understand that one. Okay, let me move this out of the way. All right, I'm going to do the rest of them. If you like, I'll do the rest of the relational operators. Let me move these guys out of the way. I'll just do them all. Well, let's do it this way. This is a little easier. We'll do B3 is equal to N1 equals N3. And we'll do a print B3. And we'll do B4 equals N1 not equal to N2. Oh, that's a mistake. That's going to cause, I would cause a compiler error. N2. If you click the file icon on the far left of the top, it'll show you the two screens. I'm not really sure. You're going to have to guide me a little bit there. Okay, so I have the thing on my far left is mute. Microphone array, blah, 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 blah. No, on the Zoom screen, not on the Zoom screen, on the Replit screen. Okay, far left. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so I'm at the far left. If you click the file icon, the file icon seems to be disabled. Oh, that's the file icon. Great. Oh, well, yes, of course. Yeah, all right, you're right. Oh, yes, of course. Okay. I'm not really sure what, ta-da, yes, thank you. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it now. All right, so okay, on we go. Let me move that out of the way. Thank you. So let's just move it right here. And so that's B4 equals N1 not equal to N2. Let's see. So we do print B4. And now we'll do B5 equals N1 greater than N2. Print B5. And we'll do B6 equals N1 greater than or equal to, oopsie, one moment, greater than or equal to N2. And I'll do a print. Yeah, thank you, B6. Okay, let's run them now. So I'll type in a number. Okay, the first number is 7, second number is 9. And we get, okay, let's go through them. Okay, we got true because 7 is less than 9. We get another true because 7 is less than or equal to 9. We get a false because 7 is not equal to 9. We get another true because 7 is not equal to 9. So this one is false. This guy is false. This guy is true. And we have another false because 7 is not greater than 9. We've got another false because 7 is not greater than or equal to 9. Let's run it with two equal values. 5 and 5. Okay, and so now we've got a, let's see. Now we've got a, where was I? Okay. Let's see, we've got a false because 5 is not less than 5. We got a true because 5 is less than or equal to 5. We got a true because 5 is certainly equal to 5. We got a false because 5, it's not true. It's false that 5 is not this guy right here. This is a false statement because they're equal. So this one's false. This is false because they're equal. And this is false because 5 is certainly greater than or equal to 5. Okay. Okay, how are we doing there? Let me see. Okay. Let me just okay. Let me just. I'm gonna unplug my microphone and plug in my.
Can you hear us?
One moment. Yes, let me. Yes.
Okay. Just checking. We're following along.
We can hear you too, Professor.
Want to say something to me?
We can hear you, Professor.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
We were able to hear you before.
My mic is
You don't have to type. We can hear
Wait a second.
We
You-
can hear what you're saying right now. Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I don't need the microphone. Oh, how disgusting. Oh, great.
The whole time. And you can hear us now?
Yes, I can. That's
Oh,
something.
that's nice.
At this moment, thank goodness I didn't say anything when I thought the thing was, when you couldn't hear me. Okay, on we go. All right, let me think. Okay, those are Boolean statements. I mean, those are Boolean conditions. So if you want to, those are called Boolean variables. Yeah, Boolean. Okay, true and false, the Boolean constants, and B1 through B6 are called Boolean variables. And again, you don't have to declare something as a Boolean variable. What's his name figures out what it is. Python, excuse me. Python figures out the data type. Yes, the data type of the thing, but what is the word? Based on what you assign to it. So it knows that B6 is a Boolean because on the right-hand side of that assignment statement, you have a Boolean expression. N1 greater than or equal to N2 is called a Boolean expression. This is fun. I didn't know I had the microphone, frankly. I have this program called Audacity, and I have to plug. I thought I had to plug in my microphone to record stuff, but I'll try it without the microphone and see what happens. Okay. So, does anybody look at the homework? And
Yes, I have a question.
sure.
So like when we want to go to make it multiply, do we have to add a part that says convert strings to integer, or do we just delete the part that says convert one to a string?
No, you can't multiply if the thing is a string.
What I'm saying is, do we delete the part that converts n1 to a string, or do we add a part that takes strings and turns back into integers?
You have to add a part that turns strings into integers unless you do an assignment statement. If you're doing input, all of your input is being inputted. Everything is being input as a string. Everything you input is string. You use that input function up here. Where is it? When you use this thing, this thing up here, the input function converts everything you type to a string. Whether you type Fred Smith or you type 17, they're all stored as strings. So that's why when I did line 3, when you do line 3, N3 is a string. When N1 is 5 and N2 is 4, then N3 is 54. Because it's doing concatenation, not addition. And then you have to go, to make it add, you have to go through lines 5, 6, and 7 to convert the things to to integers. Well, you don't have to do.
So like,
yeah. Go on.
What I'm asking, like, do we remove the part that converts it to a string, or do we add a part that makes it back? Like, what if we both? What will it take first? Like, will it go with the most recent thing on the bottom first, or the, because it says n1 equals n.
Go on. I'm losing you.
It says n1 equals. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yes.
Because it says on line 10, n1 equals integer.
N1 equals, on line 5, yes, N1 equals int N1. What line 5 does is converts the string N1 to an integer. And the word convert.
And then like.
Okay, you're breaking up. I hear your first sentences and then you disappear. And you're still disappeared. I can't hear anything.
Okay.
I hear you now. I just heard that. But, okay, if I can't hear you, let me say what I think you're saying. On lines 1 and 2, whatever you type in from your keyboard is stored as a string. So of lines N1 and N2, you've got strings. On line 3, N3 is a string, and you're concatenating two strings. So 1, 2, and 3, N1 and N2 on lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 are strings. They're strings. You cannot multiply, divide, any other arithmetic stuff. You can concatenate them. That's what you're doing on line 3. Okay, let me pause.
Okay. Like I'm looking at a different set of it, looking at the stuff from the homework.
The homework, okay, that
And on line 13, it's converting strings back into integers, or the integers back into strings.
okay, I
So
don't
do we
have,
just remove the part?
let me look at the homework. I don't have the homework with me. I think, let's see, this is a homework. No, that's the wrong class. No, this is your class. Yeah, homework 4, problem 1. All right, let's see what that is. Oh, wait, that just, oh, God. Let me see if I can open this thing. Open. By the way, IDLE is another website that does the same thing that Replit does. If you
I just copied and pasted the problem 1 from homework 4 into the chat so that we have quick reference.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. So let's see. All right. Let's see. All right. So starting off, it starts off. Okay. It says enter your name. Blah 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 blah. Print N1 equals enter the first integer. N2 equals the second integer. N3. Okay. All right. That's concatenation. And oh, this is just a continuation of the program we're doing right now. And it says print, blah, blah, blah. Now, all that stuff up to N1, N2, N3. Yeah, that's all. These things are all, wait. Yeah, okay, you can see my screen. So all this stuff that I'm highlighting is working with strings. Those are all strings so far. Then it goes down to N1 equals int, N1, all those are integers.
We can't see what you're highlighting.
Oh, you can't tell the highlight. Okay.
Well, we can't see your screen.
Oh.
We can only see Python.
Oh, okay. I see what. Can you see this one now?
No.
Okay.
I think your screen's frozen again.
No. I think what it is. Oh, maybe so. Can you see this now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Apparently, I don't know what that is. I guess you can only. Okay. I'm not sure what it is. Fine. All right. Let's just go on to here and look at what he. Okay. I could. All right. So you have N1 equals. Okay. So it says N1 equals str N1. It converts N1 to a string. Yeah. Line 10 converts integers back to strings. Because that's what the str function does.
I understand that, but my question is, do we convert the already converted strings back into integers, or just leave them as converted integers?
Well, okay.
Like, because it does both. It already converted the strings once into integers, and now it's converting those integers back into strings. So my question is, do
you need to do that? Is that your question? Yeah, because the only print command that you know only prints strings. So if you want to print N1 and N2 and all that stuff, here, let me show you. Let's go back to Google. Oh, yeah, I'm already there. Good. Let me scroll down here. And let's see. Let me do this one. I'll do N5 equals 14. Now let's see if this will convert for us. Print N5. Enter number 5, 8. Oh, it did it.
So,
great.
like in code, on line 10 converts strings into integers, and in line 13 it converts those converted integers back into strings.
Yes.
So would we, if we remove the second part, the part where it converts the integers back to strings, will it still work?
Yes, it will still work as long as all you want to do is print a single integer. If you want to print a message plus the integer, here.
Can you show us an example?
Yes, I'm doing that right now.
Thank you.
So look, now watch my input. Let me go up to here and show you what I've got. Where's my output? Oh, there you go. You see this output right there? That gave me 5 plus. Oh my God. One moment. All right. Okay, let me put some output here. Let me put another output statement here. So let me just copy this. Copy. And I'll paste. I think I can paste this right here. Yeah. Okay. Now, this one, I believe, is printing. Yeah, printing strings. Then you convert the strings to integers. Now, this problem, let's see if this gives me an error. Let's try this again. 5, 8. There, yeah. See, it would not allow me to print these things as integers. I could do this down here. Let's look at this one right here. See, I could do this because I don't have anything else but an integer, but just this number. So int5 is a number, and Python automatically can convert it to a string or do the print. But if you look at the one that gave me the error, this one right here, see, all these guys are integers, in1, in2, and in3, but Python doesn't know what to do with this plus sign. And so it chokes because it's trying to concatenate. See, this is a string, this is a string, and this is an integer. And it chokes when I try to do that. When I try to join together an integer and a string, it chokes. When you're trying to do a complicated output statement, everything like this, everything is going to have to be a string. Or everything, you're going to have one thing. Let me move this down to here. This worked out okay because this was just a single integer. This one up here did not work because this is an integer and this is a string and you can't mix them together.
So as it is, we can't divide, multiply N1 and N2. They're strings.
You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to convert in1 and in2 to integers before you can do the addition, multiplication, division, and so on.
Okay. So I know that. I understand that. But like the code that, okay, so if you send us with the homework,
Yes.
on line 10 turns it into an integer, but then on line 13 it turns it into a string. So, but code doesn't work. You just take away the part that is turning it from integer into a string. My question is, does it have to be a string in order to run first, or can you remove that? I don't know. I'm
looking at it right now. Okay, so I start off in1 equals the first number, in2 equals the second number. In3 is joining together because they're both strings, and you print them out. And it goes and then it converts in1 and into the integers. It does the addition. And then now see what you might want to do is do all the operations first and then convert the product, yeah, I see what you're saying. See, you want to do the operations first. See, right now it converts the stuff to an integer and then adds them together to int3. And then it converts them back to strings and does the output. What you should do is do all the operations first, addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction, and then convert them to a string and then do your output.
So and how do we, like, where do we begin to do that? Like,
you do it right here. See, where is it? Let me get rid of all this stuff. Okay, enter first number. Okay, let me get rid of everything. Okay, let me get rid of everything.
I have a question, Professor.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
So you sent us as part of homework 4 a .py file, which I uploaded into the Replit screen. But when I run it, I'm not getting the same on the right side of the screen. I'm not getting that prompt of enter your name. Are we supposed to be running it, or are we supposed to be changing things before we run it?
You can do both. All you have to do is have this. Enter first number, enter second. You don't have to do the thing with your name. I threw that in there just to have, so you'd have it, so you could see everything.
Okay, so we can technically start from the line that says N1 equals input, enter the first number?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, now all you got to do is just, you say sum equals N1 plus N2. Diff equals N1 minus N2. And then you just do, now you convert everybody, now you can convert everyone to an integer, or you can convert everyone back to strings. Or, I mean, if you want to, if you're just feeling, no, you can't do that. Yeah, you're gonna have to just do all the operations first. Then once you've got sum, diff, product, and quotient, then you convert all those guys to strings and do your output. That would probably be the easiest one to do, rather than keep converting them back and forth. Okay, did that answer your questions?
Professor,
Yes.
do you have to
Yes.
you have to use the file, or if you can just make it, can you just write it out in which you enter the number and then you subtract them all and do the multiplication, all the different steps?
Yeah, you can just do that. Oh, well, I do want you to do input. No, I want you to do the input thing.
Yeah, but we don't have to use the file if we can just write it out, right?
Right, you don't have to use the file. The person I've said that she could not run her program. Could you explain what
Yes,
happened?
that's me. Oh, well, I first tried to upload the .python file into Replit, and then I just uploaded it through, just uploaded the file that was saved on my computer into Replit. And then when I hit run at the top, it didn't show anything. Like, it didn't run anything. It didn't print anything. And yeah, so that's where I was trying to figure out if it was something that that uploaded wrong, if I should just type it out by hand, and what we needed to change in the code as part of the homework to be able to do that. Am I looking at the right homework? This is homework 4, right? It kind of looked exactly like the example that you were showing us earlier today.
Well, yes, what you're looking at on the screen now is homework 4.
Right.
And so they're very similar. Let me see. I'm trying to get my, there we go. When you upload something, let me see. Let me try to do what you did. Upload.
Sometimes I'm noticing I have a lot of issues with it's freezing, and that's the problem I'm having. Like, sometimes it takes a really, really long time. It took like 3 minutes for mine to come up. I press play.
It's going to do that. You might consider,
Yeah.
well, I think it'd be important then, if you're having that problem, which I'm obviously having too, you might try to write it out in a file first. That's why her question was so important. Write it out in a file and then upload the file. Now, let me just see.
So it doesn't freeze and things?
Say that again?
So that we don't lose any of our work?
Well, no, so you don't have to wait for the thing to for the editor to become active. It would be better if you wrote the program in a text editor like Notepad or whatever you have in Apple. Write in a text editor and then upload the thing to Python. And I want to see what was happened to her. First, let me download the thing, and then I'll try to upload it again. So it's up. It's in a zip file. Let me just grab this thing. Copy. And I'll put it on my desktop. Show desktop. And we'll paste it in here. I'm so happy this worked. You have no idea. Anyway, let's go back to here. No, not there. Okay, Replit. Okay, so here we go. So I go to File, Upload File, and I should get a thing here, a menu. Okay, so this is my Dropbox. My download folder. And I go to my desktop. And there's Python right there. Okay, now it should replace the one that I have. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, so did you see this where it says overwrite?
No, because I didn't have another file on my Replit when I started it. I just uploaded the homework file, so it just opened directly into it. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I think you have to create a project first.
Okay, maybe that's it.
That might be it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me try that.
Oh, yeah, okay. This happens to me all the time. It says this plugin crashed. So when this happens to me, I have to close. This thing. Yeah, I forgot about that little detail. Let me just get out of Replit. 1 second. Yeah, that is actually, I've forgotten about that. It always gives me this plugin crash every time I try to upload something. It might be better just to do a copy. Yeah, let's close this. It might be better to do a copy and paste. So I'm going to leave this thing. I'm going to go. Okay, let me go. This is not going to be good. Let's go here. All right, so you guys are not seeing me now, so I have to go back to Replit. Okay, now I got to share this, I hope. Okay, now share screen. Oh, wow. So I got to pick the ones that I'm going to share. So there's Replit, and I share this screen. Okay, so you can see Replit now?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I think okay, the upload thing doesn't really work for me. The download is what I usually use. So let me go to a Replit again. Let me just create a new Replit in Python. And, okay, so I'll make this pub, I don't care. One moment. And there's Python, so I got to go to Python. And I create the REPL, whatever they're called. Good. Okay, there we go. Now, what I think the best thing, the way to do this is, let me find the file. Let me close some of these windows, by the first of all. Well, let me just go here. All right, okay, let me just copy and paste that. Okay, so let's copy. And where's my Replit window? Hold on. This is actually kind of it. I'm getting okay, so now you can't do, see, I try to do a right mouse button and paste here. I can't do that. So in order to paste my thing, I got to do Control V. Okay, so the paste thing doesn't work. The mouse paste doesn't work. You have to do Control down the Control key and hit the V, letter V. This is not going to work for you Apple guys, but that's life. Sorry. Okay, so we're back on track. I hope helped the last person. Again, what I would suggest you. Good.
Sorry, does this run if you click run?
Let us see.
Run on the right side?
Let's see. Enter your name.
Oh, I don't know why it's not working on mine.
What error message you're getting?
It's just not getting anything.
There's no error.
It just has an arrow, that red arrow, but it won't won't come out with that prompt.
The red arrow means your program has started and ended. That arrow, right? Can you see the red arrow right here?
Right.
Okay, that means your program ran and didn't do anything.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to figure out why it's not doing anything.
Oh, okay, that's a good question then. Let me get rid of the rest of this stuff. Wow. Do you have the same things here that I have?
Yes. So I've tried uploading the Python file. That didn't work. I've tried copying and pasting, and it's not working either. So I'm wondering if I should just write everything in by hand now.
I think the best thing would be to write everything in by hand. Well, what you can do is comment every. All right. We don't have time for this, but if you really want to find out why the thing is crashing, find out the first statement or the last statement it actually runs. So what you do is you comment everything, just comment everything out except the first line. You might as well learn this. You might as well learn this. Just comment everything out except the first line and see if that runs. And then go on from there. Because there's whenever you have an error like that, it's really a horrendous error, and it means you did something really, really simple, but really, really horrible. So I only have one line in here.
Great.
And I'll just
Nothing. I was just laughing.
One moment. Okay. I'll hit the 5. And at least it asks for my input. Another thing you do is put a bunch of print statements in there to see, to sort of, just to see what's going on. So I'll just put a print in 1 here, print in 1, and I'll run the program. So it says enter first number 5, and it prints out the 5. So I know that at least it's getting my first input. Okay. So, what's going on here? Okay, good. So, see if you can get that much to work. Just get it
Okay.
to, did it read a number?
No, I'll figure it out. Thank you.
Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. Sorry. But it actually was good advice, it just didn't work. The problem with using Replit is that you don't have a debugger. A debugger is a program that allows you to execute the statements in your program one line at a time. You just hit a key on your keyboard, and it goes to that line, executes it. Hit the key again, goes to the next line, execute it, and so on. And that's what we don't have in this thing. And you don't have to do this. You can download something from Anaconda or Python, the official Python website. But if you want to keep using Replit, that's fine. You'll just have to do stuff like I just mentioned, is, enter your program one line at a time, execute that line, make sure it works, and then just do the next line and on and on and on. It's called stepwise integration. See, rather than typing in your program in one big chunk, you type it in one little piece at a time. And that way, when the thing stops running, you know that the last piece you entered was the thing that caused the program to stop. Now, I didn't know why it didn't work with her, but it didn't. But that's what that technique, stepwise integration, is actually, it's in a lot of program design books.
I got it to work.
Well, I figured if you typed it in yourself, you would. This is
Yeah, it was something else. But so what exactly are we just plugging in our own numbers into this homework and then seeing the answers and then uploading the zip file?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
See, that's what input does. Enter the first number.
We also make it subtract and add, or subtract and multiply.
All 4 of them.
And I'm not very much doing that.
I'm sorry?
I'm having a lot of difficulty doing that.
Are you getting it to add?
Yes, I'm getting it to add, but I can't get anything else.
Wait. Okay. Let me take all these out. So I've got n1 equals n2. All right, let's just do this together. Anyway, so has everyone got to read the first 2 numbers? Anyone not got to read the first 2 numbers? So you can see my screen at this point. You say n1 equals blah, blah, n2 equals blah, blah.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to erase, I'm going to take this part out. that I don't need to do the concatenation thing, so I'll just take that out. Now, the next thing you do is you convert the things to integers.
So hold on. Can I see you removed? What did you remove?
I'm sorry? What did I remove?
What? Yeah.
I removed the things that did the concatenation, where you did print in, when you did n3 equals n1 plus n2. That's concatenation. Let me put it back in again. n3 equals n1 plus n2. Now, n1 and n2.
So we removed that line.
Yes, remove that line. Okay.
So right now all we have are the numbers, for the input numbers.
Yes, they're numbers now. You convert them to numbers. Now let me take this part out too. And at this point they're adding. Now, the next step, let's give them some nicer numbers. Let's call this one sum. Okay. All right, now.
So we want to take out the N3 thing, the N3 thing.
We don't, well, you can leave it there. You can call them anything you want.
Okay.
But you can call it N3 if you want. I thought it would be nicer to call it sum because it is a sum. But if you want to leave it at N3, leave it at N3. Another thing that you do, another programming design thing or suggestion is that you name your variables so that the variable describes itself. So sum is a better name for this variable than N3. So that's why I took the N3 out and called it sum. But at this point, for what we're doing right now, it's not important. If you want to leave it at N3 and that makes you that's more comfortable as N3, great.
Okay.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Someone else, how are we going to do the next one? Let's do the subtraction now. We'll call that diff. Okay, so what do I put on the right? Let me do two characters here. Okay, what do I put on the right-hand side of the assignment statement?
N1 minus N2.
N1 minus N2, yes. Okay, now we'll do prod for product. So what do I put on the right-hand side of the assignment statement?
N1 in the asterisk N2.
N1 asterisk N2, yes. And finally, quot for quotient. Okay. All right. Next, someone else. Anyone else? Silence is golden. I'll just put 0 then.
You're asking for the quotient?
To calculate the quotient, yes.
N1 divided by N2.
No. Yeah, that's fine. Now, we've got to be a little bit careful because, let me take the comment out of here. It's just rather obvious. Okay. Now, these are all numbers. You're going to print something out. You're going to print out something like N1 plus N2 equals a sum. So you're going to have to convert these guys as strings in order to do a complicated output. Remember I showed you that example a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Okay, so you got to do your output now. You got to convert these guys back to strings, and you know how to do that.
You do that after the quotient line 12, or
you should do it after you finish your calculations. In the program you're writing now, our programs are divided into 3 parts: the input part, the computation part, and the output part. So you've got the input.
Okay.
You've got the computation, now you're going to do the output. But because of the way Python works, if you want to do a complicated output expression, you have to convert everything to a string, at least right now.
So we put like sum equal IN or sum equal str parenthesis n1 plus n2.
First, you have to convert sum to a string. Look at the example I gave you.
So we say sum equals str. What I'm asking.
Sum equals st. Yes, that's it. That is the example I gave you. Remember, to do a complicated expression, sum equals str sum. If you want to output a complicated expression, you have to convert everything to a string.
And so that's in the middle of the parentheses. What's that for?
What the parentheses? Okay.
The sum in the middle of parentheses, like that's, what is that indicating?
That's indicating that you're applying the str function to its parameter sum, just like an input. See here the input function? Remember how that worked? It displayed enter the second number on the screen and waited for you to type something in. That would be called a parameter, the argument to this function. The argument kind of tells the function what to do. The argument is the function is doing something to its argument. This is an argument. Now, what is this function str doing to its argument? What is it doing to the argument? It's converting the argument from an integer to a string. And so you have to put the parentheses there. So the compiler kind of knows. See, if you just did this, the compiler wouldn't know what's going on. You've got to say, okay, str and then sum by itself. What's the operation? What's str? What's happening? So here you've got number, operator, and then number. So it compiler can figure out what it's going to do. Here's the assignment operator. Because you can see, you evaluate this expression on the right by doing the addition. Then you assign that result to sum. Okay, right here on line 14, the way it is right now, Python doesn't know what to do. So when you put the parentheses in like this, when you put the parentheses there, Python says, oh, str is a function and it's operating on the stuff between the parentheses. It's doing, str is doing something to sum, to the integer sum. Just like on line 6, int is doing something to the string in 1. Look, compare line 6 and line 14. Int and str are both functions. They do stuff to the thing between the parentheses. They just do different things. Int converts strings to integers. Str or stir converts integers to strings.
And so it knows what sum means? Like it knows that sum, it's going to add that then?
Remember, it's not at the line 14 is not doing any addition. It's not doing addition, it's doing conversion.
But no, I'm saying line 18.
I have no line 18.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Okay.
I have a question then about the homework. Once we write out the formulas, the adds and subtracts and multiplies and divides,
yes,
our integers, or that we've converted into integers, do you want us to write the program that also prints the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I want you to, because I want you to go through this stuff. First, you convert the thing to an integer. Then you convert it back to a string in order to do your output.
I guess I'm confused as to why on line 14 you're defining sum as a string if we're trying to get like the actual, like the mathematical answers. If we like,
because we did it on line 9. We already got the mathematical answer. It's sum equals n1 plus n2. See, on line 6 and 7, we convert n1 and n2 to integers. On line 9, we do the actual arithmetic operation. So sum on line 9 is an integer. Diff,
right.
diff, prod, and quat are also integers. Well, yeah, quat's going to have a little bit of a problem.
Cool. But so is the assignment to then find, like, to get to print on the right side the answers to all the sum differences and products and quotient, or
Yeah.
are we now doing something completely different?
No, you're not. You're just going
I
to
guess is my question. Okay. Okay.
do this. Sum.
So then,
Right.
do we now print string sum?
Yes, that is your output. You're going to output sum,
Okay.
diff, prod, and quat, just like we did a few minutes ago on those things. See, this is what. Okay, let me do one of them for you. So you do this. You do. Now remember, you got to convert n1 and n2 for the strings. Let me do this for you. You do n1 equals str n1. n2 equals str n2. Now, you cannot, once you do this on lines 15 and 16, let me move this around for a moment, just for the heck of it. Cut.
I think the main answer, and according to the instructions of homework 4, is what I'm personally trying to figure is whether the answer that we're supposed to be getting on the right side that you want are integers, or whether you want them to be strings.
The answer is going to start off as integers. You can only do, the confusing part is we're mixing up the calculation part and the output part. Here, let me put some here. Here, let me put this. Let me get all this junk out of here. Get rid of these lines and I'll put just this comment. So this is input. This is input. This is computation. Put this in here. Computation. Put this blank line here. Computation. And then finally you get down here to your output. And this is output. Okay, we'll just call that output. Well, it's not really output. This is good enough. Pound sign output. Okay. Now, once we do our computation stuff, we don't need to see these things as integers anymore. They can just be strings. And that's what we're going to use them for. Let me do the output for this sum. So this is just print n1 plus, now this is concatenation, plus, now the thing between the quotation marks is the literal plus sign. See this, you're actually going to see this plus sign, this plus, here, let me do this a little easier. So I'll do format sum equals n1 plus n2 plus equals plus sum. Okay, let's look at that one now. What do we got on line 18? All right, this is a string. So I'm joining this together. Let's say it's 15. So when I execute this part of the statement right now, what it'll have is 15 space plus space. Because I'm joining the string 15 to the literal string plus, like that. Then I take that big string and I join it to n2, another string, which I then join to equal, obviously a string, and then sum is a string. And now I can just do a print. Let's call this print format sum. Excuse me. Print, excuse me again. Format sum. Okay. Let's pause and reflect on that. I don't know where the speaker is on this computer, frankly, but fine. On my computer. Anyway, okay, let's look at lines 15 through 19. Let's comment on that. Okay, line 15 converts the integer in1 to a string. Line 16 converts the integer in2 to a string. Is it kind of upsetting because I use the same name? Would you prefer I do this? str in1, str in2, str sum. And then I'll just do this one. str. Okay, can you still see?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. str, str. Do you like that better?
It's a little clearer. Thank you.
Okay, great. I did it the other way first to just emphasize the fact that this is a dynamically typed programming language. But I suppose that's, yeah, usually they don't do dynamic type programming languages as your first program language because it's hard. Unfortunately, oh, that's really funny. For those of you who are going to go to Java, Java is not dynamically typed. So you're going to go from the wild and free Python to the rather civilized and inhibited Java. That might be a slight problem. Okay, so line 18, you're happy. Let me get my chat up here. Where's my chat? Chat. I don't know. Is this going to play? Oh, wait. All right, so the last person who chatted with me was, okay, I don't know. Fine. All right, so everyone's happy with this one.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I should the two of you speak for everyone. That's good. Okay, now the rest of it, usually again, you want to do the rest of your stuff. You have a format sum, a format diff, a format prod, a format quat, and away you go. Okay. All right, so the next thing you want to, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to let you struggle through it. But
Can you run this, please, and show us what it looks like?
Sure. Oh, one moment. Okay, hold on. All right, there you go. Enter the first number, 4. Enter the second number, 2. 4 plus 2 equals 6.
That's all it does.
Well, yeah, you only have one. Well, no, it does everything. It does all the calculations right there. It does all your calculations, but you only have one output statement. And so all you can see is line 19. Now you're going to have a print format diff, format prod, format quat, or quote.
Oh, so that's the sum.
Yes. That's why.
And then we'll do that after each operation.
You don't have to. I mean, it's easier to do it this way.
You do have to create a print format diff prod quat, but he's saying it's easier if you put it at the end where print format sum is currently.
Yes. Yes.
And I think what Randy was saying was, can he put print format diff right after line 10 and then print format prod right after line 11?
No, because you can't do that because sum, diff, prod, and quat are integers.
Okay, so it has to be after you transfer them back or convert them back into strings, which is the string 1 equals string in 1.
Yes.
Okay.
So to do like, so for the next, so on line 21, I'm going to put different diff equals str parentheses iff. And then next line, I'm going to do str n1 equals str parentheses n1.
You don't have-
str n2.
You don't have, you're already converting N1 and N2 to strings on line 15 and 16. You don't have to do it again.
I don't need.
You already did it on line 15 and 16.
So your own to convert them back convert it into a string, you have to convert sum into a string, diff into a string, prod into a string, quote into a string.
Yes, because they're integers.
Exactly. I was just clarifying it.
Sure. They're integers. They're line 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12 are the calculation parts. You only can do the calculations on numbers. You can only do it on numbers. Once you try, yes. Go on.
So after they're all strings 9, 15, and 16, we don't need to do that part anymore.
Right. Right. Maybe that's not clear either. What you're doing on line 15 and 16 is you're putting something in a memory location. You're putting something in a box. Now, once it's in that box, you don't have to put in the same thing in the box again. You've already converted N1 to an integer, and you store it in str. You've converted. Now, you cannot convert it N1 to an integer. N1 is going to stay the same now. What you do is you've created an integer. I'm sorry, you've created a string representation of the integer N1, and you stored that in the string str N1. Okay. The way it works is, looking at line 15. Okay. Step 1, you invoke the str function, and you apply the str function to N1. And so the value of the right-hand side of line 15, the right-hand side of the equal, on the right-hand side of the equal sign, that is the string value or the string representation of the number N1. N1 hasn't changed yet. In fact, it's not going to change. N1 doesn't change. Let me see where was. Oh, N1 doesn't change. You then take that string representation of N1 and you copy it into the box whose name is str_n1. And so the box, the string box, what kind of box is str_n1? It is a box that contains strings. And so now str_n1 is a string, n1 is still an integer. Actually, let me go back and change the whole thing because I can see where I've confused everyone. So I'm going to just make this str_n1. I'll make this str_n1. Oh, I'm sorry. str_n2, and this will be str. Ooh, that's great. Oh, that's so great. str_n1. Now, once you do that, what's going on here? Oh, I got two n's. I'll tell you. Let's not change anything. I'll do it better the next time. Let's leave everything alone right now, and we'll do it better next time. Let's just leave that as it is. Oh God. Okay.
Do you want the final line to be?
One moment. Let me fix this back the way it was. One moment. I'm getting carried away. All right. Now, what is your question?
So if you go up to the line, go up a bit to the, I think it's the fourth line.
Yes.
Where it says, okay, input, and then the 4 + 2 = 6. That was in 3, correct?
Right here, 4 + 2 = 6. That's right here.
Yes, and on the output screen, it comes out as 4 + 6.
Yes.
Do you want that to be repeated at as the last line? Because it looks that way in the assignment, where it says, see, if you look in chat, the last line, it says print N1 plus quotations plus.
One moment, let me find the chat. Hold on.
See the very last line of the assignment?
Right here. This, well, yeah, right here. Print N1 plus N2 equals N3. Yes, but now I did, okay. All right.
Yeah.
In this one, I'm not converting the thing between the print. I'm not converting this to a string. I see, let's see right here. See here, I did not do a conversion. If you can see that, can you see this?
No,
Um,
it's frozen.
Okay, I
think
don't
your
know.
screen froze again.
Oh, that's because I did this here. I kind of figured that one out again.
Okay, you're back.
You're back, good. Yeah, when I cover the Zoom screen with something else, it disappears. It freezes. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's do this the way it was before. All right, so I'm going to do this the way it was in your chat thing. We'll do this back again. N1. So that's N1. N1. There's a sum here. And we'll get rid of the format sum. Let's get rid of that. And let's go back to the way it was the output. Now, let's go through this together. At this point, N1, N2, and sum are strings. So I type N1. Now it's a string, so I want to join to another string. I have to use the concatenation. Now here's a string, plus, like that. Here's another string. Now I'm creating one big string, plus.
I understand that. I'm asking, do you want it to print in our program in the assignment? Do you want it to do that twice? Because it looks like you have it, you know, enter the first number, and then enter the second number, and then it says 4 plus 2 equals 6. Do you want, after we do the sum, difference, product, and quotient, do you want it to do it again?
No, I'm not sure what you mean by do it again. All I want you to do is what we have right here. Plus. I've obviously written the assignment badly, but what I want to see is simply this, plus sum. And you want to do this for the difference part, the product part, and the quotient part.
Okay, and if you run it, it only offers it one. It only does a output of it once, correct?
Yes. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a criticism. You're only getting one output here because there's only one output statement. You need 3 more output statements.
No, it wasn't a criticism. I was just trying to be clear on my understanding of it.
Yes, and I'm saying this, you only have one output statement in the program as it's now written. You must add 3 more output statements.
Okay, and is the pound output required for it to output, or will it just output on it?
That's a comment. You put comments in your program just to make the program better understand, make it easy to understand.
I see.
And I was saying that you divide your program, when you're designing your program, you divide it into 3 parts, the input part, the computation part, and the output part. And I put the comments in there to label each part. This is input, this is computation, and this is output. That's the only purpose the comments were for, was to emphasize that separation or that division.
And do you want us to put comments, or are the comments were only for you to give us direction?
You may want to put the comments in the program yourselves. It's really nice to put comments in your program. It makes it easier for you to understand them. It's a habit you want to get into, but no, I'm not going to ask you to put comments in there. You might feel the need for comments when your programs get more complicated, but right now, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm getting an error that says name error, name str sum is not defined.
str comma? What is the
str sum?
str, say it more slowly.
str sum.
str pound?
str sum.
Okay, the reason you might be getting that error is because did you put the parentheses in there? Did you put the parentheses in?
So where it says format, hold on, I'm gonna. Should that have parenthesis in it?
Remember,
I put it in the chat.
let me look at the chat thing. All right. What did you type? Yeah, all right. You're going to iterate what you chatted in. Let me try to answer the question from here. Oh, God. Uh-oh. All right, that Zoom chat. I think I just got out of. Oh, my God.
If you hover over the screen on the left, then you'll find a little chat bubble, and you can click on that. It'll open up the chat box again.
All right. This one. This one?
Where I think, yeah, we can't see where you're moving because you may have moved. Oh, there we go. You may have moved off of your screen for the screen share.
Okay.
Like, for example, I can't see your mouse moving right now. Nope.
All right. Okay, we want to see the chat and this other thing. I had a little chat thing before that didn't fill up the screen.
If you accidentally clicked on the chat or the arrow, then it might have minimized the chat window.
I got it. I got
Okay.
it. Okay, so we can see both the chat and the screen. All right, now what I'm talking about is what we have right here on line 18. Now,
So
yeah.
when I type into mine, it not work. I get an error. I
What
typed
is
exactly
the
what you have, and I get it.
What is the error?
It says here I put it in the chat.
You have print str1 plus str2 plus str sum. Okay, now you. All right, where do you convert str in one to a string? Because these guys have to, okay. All right, enter, blah, 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 format line module, name error, str sum is not defined. That's why you're getting the error, because you haven't defined str sum. See, you have to use it.
I have exactly what you typed in. I have exactly what you typed in mine.
Okay, well, see, we've been changing things so much. I had str sum at one time. I went back to this. If you have not used str sum in an assignment statement where str sum is on the left-hand side of an equal sign, you're going to get this error. Look at your program carefully. Does str sum, do you have something like this? Str sum equals str sum like that. See str sum now?
Nope.
Then that's why you're getting the error, because you didn't create str sum anywhere. It does not appear on the left-hand
So
side.
can I see again what we were supposed to type without any changes made to it? Now, like,
Look, let's go over it again. Let's go
one
over,
example.
let's go over what we have here. Let's start at the top. Notice that N1 and N2 appear on the left-hand side of an assignment statement, so they exist. So I've created them when I do lines 2 and 3. All right, lines 6 and 7 convert N1 and N2 to integers. So far, so good. That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Now we go on to line 9. Now, notice that sum appears on the left-hand side of an assignment statement. That is creating sum. As I said, this is a somewhat difficult language because you're creating the variable as you use it. So the first time you see sum on line 9 is when you create it. it has to appear on the left-hand side of an assignment statement. So you just created 9. You've already created N1 and N2, so you're good. Line 10 creates diff. Why? It's on the left-hand side of an assignment statement. Line 11 creates prod. Line 12 creates quat for the same reason. Then, now the reason I did the string str1 and str2 was to emphasize the conversion. And I thought it was somewhat confusing if I took in what here you have on the right-hand side of the assignment statement, N1 is an integer. So right here, the value of the right-hand side of the assignment statement is a string. Now, when you finally complete the assignment statement, you assign the string on the left-hand side, the string on the right-hand side of the assignment statement to N1 on the left-hand side. That destroys N1 as an integer and recreates it as a string. That was the confusing part. Now, let's do this system. Okay, now, do you have any questions about that? What I just said on line 15?
Nope.
Line 15,
15
very,
and 16.
you're good with that. Because line 15 is the most very complicated. Because you just converted a string to an integer and you gave that string the same name as the integer. No, it's not the same variable. It's a completely different memory location, a completely different box.
I thought we took an integer and turned it to a string.
I'm sorry?
Didn't we take an integer and turn it to a string?
That was up here. I'm sorry, that's okay. See here, we converted, let's go through this. This converts a string to an integer. N1 and N2 are now integers.
Yeah. And then down there, we're turning an integer to a string.
Right. And so
Okay.
it has the same name, but it's a completely different thing.
Can you run what you have so we can see?
You can see it right there.
Yeah.
4 plus 2 equals 6. Let's run it again. Let's draw this out a little bit. All right. So type in 4.
Will that work?
8. We'll see. 4 plus 8 equals 12. Let me move this over just a little bit so we can see the program.
How was it able to find the sum of integers when you've redefined N1 and N2 as strings?
Because I already calculated the sum up here when they were integers. Sum equals N1 plus N2. I've got the sum there.
So what you're saying is you're assigning an action, which is one number plus another number to the variable sum.
Yes.
For it to actually be output, it has to be a string because you can't put a string and a number together.
Well, it doesn't have to be you don't have to convert it because you only have to convert it if you want to have a complicated expression like this. That's when you have to.
Mine is working. Mine's still working.
But if you want to do this, you can do this. Print N1, comma, N2, comma, sum, comma, prod, comma, what's it? Sum, diff, prod, comma, quat. Now those are integers, but you notice that's not a very complicated expression. 4, 8. See? Oh, God. Well, whatever. I made a slight mistake that I didn't want to make, but fine. All right, there's 4, 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. 4 minus 8 is -2. 4 times 8 is 32. And 4 divided by 8 is 1/2. I was trying to avoid that, but life goes on. But see, I can do that here because this is not a very complex expression. I'm outputting them one thing at a time. If I want to have a complicated expression, I've got to convert them to strings.
Now, another question is, do you want the complicated expression output for each sum, diff, difference, product, and quotient, or do you just want it for the sum?
I want it for all of them.
For all of them, okay.
Okay, but this is actually a good, let me move this. All right, yeah, this is a good example. As you see, these are very simple expressions right here. Very, very simple. I didn't want to go into the only data types I wanted to do tonight were integers and strings. This, by the way, is a floating point number. Obviously, it's 1/2. It's got a decimal fraction. It's a decimal fraction. We'll do that next week. So all I want is integers and strings right now. You should be okay. Actually, you might want to be up. You better be careful that everything is going to be, well, yeah, it'll still work if it's a decimal fraction. Don't worry. Just try to work with integers if you can. If you can't, life will go on. Now, this is an error you can't protect yourself from. First number 4, second number 0. Don't worry about it. That's a division by 0 error. You can't protect yourself from that yet. We'll be able to do that next. When we get into if statements, we'll be able to protect you. Okay. So I'll just comment this one out. Okay, that's good. A wide range of questions, which I hope. Okay, anyway, how are we doing now?
Good.
Better.
Could be worse. Yeah, don't say good or better, just say it could be worse. That's a much better way to put it. It can always be worse.
No, I said we're doing better. I said I'm doing better. Not to be better, I did better.
Okay. All right.
Like, well, it's more now, so.
Let me put my mask back on. Okay. Do I sound any different?
No.
Okay, good. I'll take it off. All right. Let's see. Okay. So everyone's reasonably happy. Anybody have any other questions? Okay.
So if we don't put the equal sign in, it won't give the actual final.
Where do you where I mean where
On line 19.
Oh no! If you don't put the equal sign in, you'll still get output.
Equation, correct?
If you take them out, if you just did this, I'll put this in here. And look, okay, let me put this back. Look, I mean not look, but see whatever appears. This is called these are called string literals. What you see is what you get. So what's going to output is what is going to put whatever is between the quotation marks is what you're going to see. Now you can always do this. Let me put here. You can always do this. I'll just put literals. I can put equal sign, like that. And I can just go here and I'll do plus sign equals plus like that. And then I can go back down to here. And I'll just do one of them. So you can see that they're the same thing. Plus sign like that.
You don't have to put quotations around it?
If you do not want to have, okay, this is not, okay, this, okay, let me run the program. Let me answer your question this way.
Oh, I see, because you've already assigned the value of plus sign to plus sign. You don't have to put the quotations in it.
Okay, but no. Now I'm going to put the quotation marks here. Put the quotation marks. See, that's what happens. See, this is a string literal. Everything between the quotation marks prints as you see it. If I take the quote marks out, then Python evaluates this string. What is the value of plus sign? It's space plus space.
I see.
And so You can do it either way. I mean, let's do it this way. This is simpler, and we'll get more sophisticated later.
Okay.
So let's just do it like that for now, and later on we can do more stuff. But now what you're going to do is you're going to calculate your sum diff. I mean, you're going to calculate your diff. Yeah. Now these things are already strings. Once you execute line 20, you do not have to convert in1 and in2 to. I've never done this. Let me see what happens if I do this. In2 equals str in2. Now they're already strings. So let's see what happens. 4, 5. Oh, it doesn't care. Okay. All right, fine. I've never actually done that. So good. Okay, so so far so good.
Yeah.
Other questions? I want to thank you
It's
for helping.
working. Oh, thank you.
Thank you for helping with this. I would never. I opened up 2 chat windows. I mean, 2 whatever these things are called, Zoom windows. I'm still not sure what I did, but I'll have to practice with that tomorrow. So this was actually fun for me. I mean, fun in the sense that it worked. I was very unhappy last week. I was suicidally depressed. Now I'm just unhappy.
You need some vitamin D.
Yes, thank you.
It's good for your immune system.
I'm sorry? My
Vitamin is good for your immune system.
immune system is, I guess it's it's okay. I hope so. I hope we'll be able to see one another in June or May. Actually, I wonder how long the quarantine, this social distancing is going to last.
LAUSD is not having school until next January.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you.
Los Angeles Unified School District is not having school again until next January.
I don't know if we'll do the same.
I hope not.
I see these elementary school kids walking past my house all the day long, riding on their skateboards and their and mothers walking their kids in their cradles and little tiny babies walking. I don't think anyone under the age of 14 has died. So.
How are you doing? Do you need anything?
No, I'm getting everything from Amazon, and Ralph's delivers for me.
Amazing.
Ralph's Market. Yeah.
I'm in Ohio.
I'm sorry?
I'm in Ohio.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It's snowing here.
Yeah, that's why that's why I'm not in Ohio.
I figured like away from like the populous areas.
Well, that is actually good. My nephew is I have one nephew in Portland, another nephew in next Bellevue, somewhere in Washington. I have another nephew in the Czech Republic. So they're all getting.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I also
The whole world on this one thing together.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Randy.
Oh, I said it's interesting the whole world like, in on this one thing together. You know, it's like we all have one thing in common.
Yes. Yeah.
I just a quick note about the program. I noticed that my my output of like on your screen right now you have 4 + 5 = 9. There's a space between the 4, the plus, and the 5. You have to put those spaces in the quotations.
Yes, the quotations are. I think it's WYSIWYG.
Yeah, I wasn't putting the spaces in on my screen, and it was putting them all next to each other.
You're putting the spaces there.
They're not there inside the quotation.
Right. The spaces that outside the quotations don't count.
Exactly.
What's his name skips the spaces. The spaces in between the quotes do count. So you got to have those guys. Okay.
So I have a question and an error when I try to run my program that I input into our chat. It's telling me that it's an unsupported operand type.
Okay, wait. Okay, that just means that you try to do something on a string that you're supposed to do on an integer. But let me go back. Let me go to the chat thing and see. Okay, you have diff equals n1 minus n2. That means n1 or n2 are still n1 or n2 or diff are still strings. That's what that means. Unsupported operand type means that you can't operand is the thing you're operating on. The operator is plus, minus, multiply, or divide. So one of your operands is not an integer or a number.
Right, because I thought we were trying to change them into strings.
After you do the operations. See, here's my operation part up here. See, first, when you do the computations, you convert everybody to an integer. Then you do the computations. Let me get rid of this line right here. Then you do the computations. And once the computations are done, then you can do your output. But you cannot do these computations on strings. So you got to make sure that you convert n1 and n2 to integers. Once you do that, then sum, diff, prod, and quat will also be integers or doubles or floats. See, quat can't actually be a double because if you divide 5 by 10, you're going to get 0.5. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay,
Kind
good.
of.
Kind of. Good. Let me see. Okay, one thing is, this is not a free-form language like Visual Basic. Basically, you got to put all a complete statement has to be on one line. You can't do, now this you could do in Visual Basic. I'm pretty sure you can't do this in Java. I mean, oh my God, it disappeared. Let me see if this will run. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Yeah, you got to put everything on a single line. Okay, yeah. That's the nice thing about.
Yeah, you can't just
Say that again?
you can't like put a comma and do the next thing.
No, there's no line continuation. It's got to be one line. Or if there is a line continuation, I don't know what it is. But there actually is a line continuation. There's a way you can continue lines. I'd have to look it up. So I'm just going to say for right now, you can't do it. So don't try to do it yet. I'll find it out. I'll try to find out what it is by next week, and we'll see what's what. I mean, you can do it, but it's actually just easier to keep your lines very, very short and avoid complicated expressions by assigning things to variables. We haven't gotten any complicated expressions yet. We will in a few weeks, probably when you get into May. But right now, they're very, very simple. So maybe when we get next week, when we get to if statements. Okay, pardon me. Yeah. Other question. You're in Ohio, my God. That's amazing.
Yep, we're out across the country.
Yes.
Okay.
My mother is from Huntington, West Virginia, which is not too far from, well, whatever.
I went to school at W.
I lost something. Fine.
I went to school at W. Oh.
Where?
West Virginia University.
Ah, My mother went to Marshall.
Oh, they're rivals.
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
Okay, just to confirm, you don't want us to do the enter your name part and
Take it out. No, that's in the second homework assignment. The second homework assignment works strictly on strings. I want it to be a little easier. It just has strings and do a string concatenation. And it's much, you've actually already done everything you need to know. You already know everything you need to know to do the second assignment. If you want to have a look at it now, that's great. I think we've thrashed everything out though.
okay.
Okay, so professor, I tried difference, multiplication, division. They're all working. Should I upload my file? Yes, Mr. Safi, you should upload your file, but you got to have your output too, not just the operations. Do your output as well. Gee, I think it's great that I can hear you and you can hear me at the same time. I didn't think that was going to be possible.
Miraculous.
It is miraculous, yeah. Miraculous. Okay, yes, the outputs are printing too. Then upload the one file. You don't have to upload the zip file. If you don't know how to unzip the thing, just upload the zip file. If you do, just upload the PY file. It's not a big deal. I don't anticipate having programs, but if you want, we can actually do more stuff. We can get deeper into, let's see how this goes. Let's see when we really, all we're supposed to cover in this class are sequences, what we just did, then something if statements we're going to do next week, and then what are called repetition statements or loops, which we'll do later. Let's see how well if statements go. And if they go well enough, then we can do more complex things. Since this went so well, I should actually try to have office hours. I should schedule office hours for these things. I'm sorry, Mr. Yi is not, or Mr. Lee is not here. He was the one who told me I was in two different windows, or two different, whatever those things are. I share two different windows, and you were in one, and I'm still kind of shaky with this, but it didn't go that bad tonight. Okay. I wonder if I can see. There must be a way if I can to see who's still on, who's still in this thing. Let me go see if that's possible.
Who's still in the class?
You
No.
can click on participants.
There's 11 people here. Oh yeah, there we go. We have me, Mr. Kim, Mr. Kittis, Mr. Clark, Mr. Thatch.
I'm a girl.
No, I haven't got your name.
Why?
Kim. It's
Oh,
Miss
that's
Kim.
you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm okay. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, wonderful. Okay. All right. That is good. Okay, well, I thank you anyway for helping me with that. Okay, well, why don't you guys look at the second one and tell me what you think? Because I say, I think it's much easier than this one. We thrashed everything out about the second one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some Python programs for you, several of them using conditional statements and Boolean data types. And so you'll have something to think about when we do the next thing, the next program. or when we get into chapter to the if statements. The book that okay, I sent you those videos, which are very, very good. You should look at those. And again, okay, you said you want to go to Java. The problem, it's not really, well, no. They don't really do any graphics in Java. I don't think they do graphics in Java. They don't do any drawing or anything like that, or pictures or animation, which you can do forget it. I was going to say you can do animation very easily in Visual Basic, but that's not, we should not talk about that. All right, okay, then I shall be silent. And yes.
So it wants us to put it on one line. It wants us to put our name, age, our last name, first name, and age on one line.
Yes, that means you're going to concatenate.
Like, is it?
You're going to concatenate them.
Oh, okay.
You can concatenate strings. You might want to put a separation between them or put a label. My name is blah, blah, and I am X number of years old or X years old.
So are we supposed to do it like how it's supposed to be on one side, to, like in the dark side of the screen to the light part of the screen, like input and output?
You're going to have, one moment, let me move this out of the way. You're going to have this, where you're going to have the black dark part of the screen for your output, and your program is going to be in the light part of the screen when you run it. But you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to put in here, instead of having enter number one, you'll put name, first name equals enter your first name, then last name, and you'll just write, or you can just put first. I'd be a little bit careful with first and last, but I would just do it like this. First name equals enter your first name. Like that. And do the same thing with your last name. Now, since you're not going to do any calculations on your age, you don't have to convert your age to an integer. Just read it in. You could read it. You don't have to do any conversion because you're not doing any calculations. All right, I got to change.
Okay.
Because it can output an integer if it's only one, correct? It doesn't have to be a string if it's because it's not an actual equation.
Yes, you're not. Well, let me put this back again. I'm going to answer your question in just a second. Enter the first number. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll down here. Let me minimize this. Oh God, I think I messed something up. Okay, let me get this right. Take this out. Oh God, all right, I think I messed the whole thing up. What? Oh God. Okay, there we go. All right, back to your question. Okay, if you want to have a complicated thing like this, then everything's got to be a string. In your case, everything is a string. There's no reason to convert the age to an integer because you're not doing any calculations. If you want, I will add something to the assignment. Well, in fact, I will do that. I'm going to put another assignment in there. So you have to do homework 2, problem 2, but you have to say what age the person will be in 3 years. Then you'll have to do some conversion. If you enter 25 or 72 for your age, and then I put in there output how old the person will be in 3 years, because you're doing addition on age, you must convert age to an integer, do the addition, and then convert it back to a string. But as the assignment is now written, because you're not doing any calculations on age, there's no reason to convert it to an integer or an int. I hear someone hitting the enter key on his or her computer, or her or his computer to be alphabetically correct. All right, what do I have here? I'll have to restart my computer. Can you see my screen now? Whatever. Okay.
Yes.
All right, great. Before I could see your faces on the side of my screen, I could see your computers, and now I cannot. Is that? Let me see.
What do you mean you could see our computers?
Well, I could see the output from your screen. I could see people's faces.
It might have to do with having maximized your screen, maybe?
Are you G Kim?
Yes.
And so, yeah, because I can see on my screen, can you see the icon with the speakers? And so my speaker, there's a little thing going up and down.
Yes.
So I'm talking, now I can see yours doing the same thing.
Correct.
Okay. Now the other people.
Sorry, you broke up. What was that?
No, I was saying some other people, Danny Thatch has got a red light. Can you see the,
It just means that they're muted, that they've muted their mic.
oh, good. All right.
But that's something that they did on their end.
Ah, great. Okay. All right, let me just close this then or minimize it. Okay. All right. So that's it. As I say, I'll be ready with the if statements in a couple of days, or with examples using if statements in a couple of days, so you can see before you come to class how they work. You can also look at those Python videos I showed you that I uploaded, or that you can upload, or you can look at. They're very, very good. He has over 100 videos, a lot of them doing animation. I don't know if you want to go that deeply into Python, but they're there. There's tons of Python videos out there. So if you don't like that guy, you can find someone else. There's also another video on comments that I didn't upload, that I commenting your program, how to put comments in your program, that I didn't upload, or maybe I did, I don't remember. Or give you the URL for. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Ah. Okay.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, I'm trying to add my name with my first and last age, but I noticed when I change the N1 order, it doesn't really change the order. It does. So, like, I don't know. You understand what I'm saying, kind of?
No, I don't understand. Say it again. Are we looking at the same program? Are we looking at the same?
No.
You're looking at your homework assignment. Your homework
Yeah.
problem 2. Okay. What is
Yeah.
going on with homework problem 2?
Well, I put N1 as my last name, and then 2 as my first name, and
Yeah.
then N3 is my age.
Okay. Let me interrupt you. Don't do that. Names are supposed to be self-descriptive. Don't put N1 as your first name. Put first name. put last name for your last name. If you don't like to type that much, put F in for first name, L in for last name. Age is just 3-digit letters, so just use age. But don't use, you want people to be able to understand your program when they read it. If you put in 1 and in 2 and in 3, it's going to make it more difficult for people to understand your program. You want people to understand your program. You want to use
Okay, and so I'll do it that way.
Yes.
But then I noticed the various variables. Like I changed the order in the fourth line, like to do like first name plus last name plus age. It doesn't the equation. Oh, I have to. Oh, never mind. I have to print it in that order too.
Yes, you have to print them. Yeah. Your output. Yeah, you could look at your print statement. You can see the order in which things are going to be printed. I mean, I could change this thing so it goes into. I could do this. Oh, that's not good. There's no undo. I don't know how to do an undo in this thing. So I think I'm up the creek now. Look.
Couldn't you just delete it?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, I delete it. Now what do I do?
Then when you go over to the black screen on your right, you click the little leftward pointing X arrow that's next to the whatever that thing is, that magnifying glass. Yes.
Okay, but I don't get my thing back.
Which thing?
I deleted this line. I deleted the output.
I thought you didn't want the line.
No, that was a mistake. No, I was trying to answer his question, and I was trying to show him that the order with these things appear is important. So I have in one plus quote, or let's do it this way, plus sign, plus into, equal sign, or whatever. 1 second, what did I call this thing? It's plus sign, S-I-G-N. And, okay, that's equal. Oh, there, I messed that one up too. So that should be equal sign. EQAL, equal sign. And this will be plus equal sign plus, I spelled that wrong, plus sum. All right, now what you're looking at, these are not really on separate lines. What's happening is that the text editor is wrapping this stuff around to a new line because it's too big. It's too big for this window. But they're not on separate lines, because once I make the window bigger, it puts it right again. Now, going to the question I was trying to answer, let me make a see. I could also do print sum. Well, I'll just do it this way. Equal sign plus in one plus sign plus in two. Okay, I got to put a plus here. Okay, so that's supposed to be SIGN. Okay, there. All right, so the order, so I'm going to get it's going to get this different output because they're in different order. Oh, that's clever too. All right, EOL while scanning string literal. I forgot to put, that means I forgot to put a quotation mark somewhere. And it kept scanned in. EOL means end of line. So it's looking for the quotation mark at the end of the line, and it doesn't see it. So that's because of this thing. I forgot the quote. There we go. And that is because, oh God. All right. All right, so this is not the greatest text editor in the world. 5, 8, and there you have 5 plus 8 equals 13, 13 plus 13 equals 5 plus 8. Okay. All right, how are we? Okay, so I hope that answers your question about the order in which you put things, the order for your output stuff. So here you've got N1 and N2 and sum in this order. Yes, go on.
That wasn't really a question. Like I was just wondering if the order, like if it did your first name first, did it have to write your first? If it did your last name first, did you have your last name in a line where it's putting like last name, first name, age? Because I wanted just my first name, then my last name, then my age.
You have to put them in the order in which you want them to appear. It's got, if you want, you got to be
and
first,
that's in the equation.
First name,
right?
last name, age. Yes, that would be in your output string. You would have something like this. Okay, this is the simplest output you could get. Print last, comma, first, comma, age. And what you'll get is you'll get last name, first name, and age separated by a space. If you want something fancier than that, then you got to create this output string like this. See, this is just a comma-separated list of output. I'll just give them to you in that order, separated by spaces. If you want something fancy, you have to build an output string. Yes.
So I can do commas instead of pluses?
Once more.
I can do commas instead of pluses?
If you do commas the way I've done, well, no. No, this is completely different. What you're going to get is last, first, and age separated by spaces. There's no formatting. It just takes them and throws them out. It doesn't care. If you want to have a more sophisticated output string, you have to build it the way I'm doing on line 23 and line 22. See, I have to convert everything to a string and then build the string like this. N1 plus sign plus N2 plus equal sign plus a sum. Doing it this way, here,
Okay.
let me just put these together. Okay, so I'll do...
Like, which way I do it, it keeps telling me that I'm doing invalid syntax.
All right, send it. Okay, just put it in the chat. Put it in let me, oh God. Just put it in the chat thing. Send it to the chat and let me have a look at it.
Professor,
Yes.
it's 9:53 for those of us who have to go. Is it okay to leave the class?
Yes, we're not. I mean, yeah, I'm done. I mean, there's.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to check. And then you said that you're going to add an additional thing for us to do in homework too.
Yeah, that was
to add the age or something.
Yes, to add a number to the age.
Okay, so you will be updating that after class at some point.
Yes. Yes.
So
okay.
If we've already uploaded our assignment, we should redo it and re-upload it.
No. It'll be another assignment.
Okay.
If you've already uploaded number 2, there'll be a number 3 that'll be almost identical to number 2.
Okay, cool.
All right, but let me answer his question. This is print first name, comma, last name. That's because you have a space between last and name. If you look, yeah, it can't. Yeah, there's a space there. At least I hope that's a space. No, that's all I can see.
It's
also, okay, yeah, there's a couple of things missing. All right, so if you do this with a comma separated list, you have to put commas between wait. You have to put commas between everything. It's got to be first name, then quote plus quote, comma, last name, comma, quote plus quote, comma, age.
Hold on. Say the very first thing again.
You have
It's
print.
got to be comma, a quote.
You have to separate everything with commas. You have
So
one.
the quote thing, what?
When, all right, there's two ways you can do this. Here, let me do this again. I'm going to go back and I can do this. Print, sum, comma, equal sign, comma, in1, comma, plus sign, comma, in2. What that will give me is forgot the parentheses. What that will give me is all my variables separated by spaces. Let's run it and see what we get. Let me bring this out here. Now, this is what you were trying to do, but you did not separate the quote plus quote with a comma. It should be first name. Here, let me do it the way you have it. Equal, equal, equal. Then plus sign.
Quote. Can you
Quote.
write 2 lines?
Quote.
Show me what I versus what you're doing.
I just did. Look, can you see on the screen? This is what you did. But this is what
you erased what you did.
No, I didn't. It's still here on line 23. See, notice the difference between line 23 and line 24. Let's look what the difference in the output first. Let's look at that for a moment. Here, let me move this out of the way.
So I put my addition lines in quotes.
All right, listen. Here, look. Let me just finish this. 4, 5. Notice the difference in the output. Hold on, let me go back to here. The reason you're getting the errors you're getting is because you have print, first name, comma, that's okay. Then you have quote mark plus quote. Then you have immediately last name. It's got to be quote, comma, last name. You have to put a comma between each item you're outputting. When you have a comma separated, yes, go on.
I understand what you're saying. I understand the quote part. Where's the quote at? Hello?
I'm going to show you this right now. All right. Look at line 24 in the program you see on my screen. Notice compare line 23 and line 24. Here, let me do it a little better. No, I can't do it better, but all right, let me put this in here then. And this will be, one moment, quote plus quote. Okay. Now, let's get your program up here. Where is it? Okay, let's move this to the side. All right, now, I'm not sure I can magnify this, well, I'm not going to try. All right, so you'll notice you have first name, comma, quote plus quote. There is no comma between the rightmost quote mark here and last name. It's got to be quote, comma, last name. Look at my line 20.
Hold on. First name, quote, comma, quote, last name.
You have to separate all the elements with quotation marks. You have 4 things.
Like the elements. Okay. The elements are talking about the name, or are you talking about the sign, or talking about the comma, or are you talking about the quote?
Everything. One moment, please. All right, you have four
Okay.
elements, four things you're outputting. First name, the plus sign, last name, five things, excuse me. You have first name, a plus sign, last name, another plus sign, an age. Those are the five things you're trying to output.
Okay.
If you want to do it with commas, you have to put a comma between each of those things. Your mix, you have.
So between the plus and the first name, or the plus and the last name,
Wait, can you
between
see,
like.
wait, just 1 second? Can you see line 24 on my screen?
Okay.
Can you see line 24?
Yes.
Do you see how you compare that
So
to? Yes, go on.
24 is wrong.
24 is right. 24 is going to, well, 24 is going to compile. 24 is not what I want you to do, but 24 is what you tried to do. Why did you put a comma in your output? When you do a comma, it's going to display each thing, each item separately. If you want to format them into one big string, you join them together with a concatenation operator, which is what line 23 does.
But how do I put a space between them?
By hitting the space bar. You don't need a space. Here, I'll take the space out.
Oh.
You don't need a space there. You don't need spaces here. You need spaces in the string. Oh my God, I delete the quote mark. Okay, let's put that back in. Oh my God. Quote. And let's get this guy out. Oh, I see. Oh my God. All right, let's get this back in here. There. All right. You don't need to separate the items in your output list with a space. You just have to separate them with a comma. The comma tells Python when one list item begins and when one list item ends and the next list item ends. Line 24 is displaying a list of things. Line 23 is displaying one big string. There's an error there. There, okay.
So do I not need the line I just typed in there in the chat box? That's how. So I put name and age equals something, and then it's.
I'm sorry. What is it now? The chat.
Put name and age.
Put name and age what?
Equals first name plus age.
I'm not sure. Look, why not try to do it the way we have it here?
Because I don't understand it. I can't see it. I see what you're saying, but I see sum and spaces and commas, and I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let's start. Line 19. Okay. Let's look at line 24. Line 24 is printing a comma-separated list of things. And when you do your output, they're separated. Each one is separated by a space. Sum, equal, in1, equal, in2. Actually, that should be a plus right here. What you see between the quotation marks is what is going to be output. Now, line 24 is a comma-separated list. Line 23 is one enormous string.
We have to do, which one do we have to do?
23.
23. I need to have like print and then first name and then space plus and the comma.
You want to output your name, your first name, your last name, and your age. Correct?
So do I want to like print first name? Yes. Do I want to print first name and then space? Like I want it to say first name, last name, spaces between the name and the age, like in the names.
That's what line 23 is doing. You would
So
say
what's the plus for? What is plus?
plus joins together. It joins the two strings into one big string. It's a concatenation operator. It joins them together. Remember when we
And
did
then the equal sign,
the equal sign?
the
Is
equal sign, what does that do?
which equal? You mean this one right here? This equal sign between the quotation marks?
Yeah.
That's just outputting the literal equal sign. It's going to output the equal sign right there. You have 9 equals 4 plus 5 because it's sum plus the equal sign plus N1, then the literal plus sign. Oh, God.
So like if I want to print a comma, I would put it in quotations.
If you want to print an actual equal sign, yes, you would put it in quotations. If you want to put the literal plus
If I
sign,
want,
go on.
if I wanted a comma, I would put quotations also.
If you wanted to print a comma, let me put commas in here. So I'll replace the equal sign with a comma. I'll replace the plus sign with a comma. And now you'll get commas. Notice the comma here, you have some comma. That's not, notice that is black or dark. The one between the quotation marks is red. Now I'll run the program, 5, 8, and you'll notice in your output you have commas because the commas are in between this comma right here, right after sum. That's simply used to separate the elements in your output list. What's in your output list? Sum, a comma, N1, another comma, and N2. Those are the 5 things in your list of outputs. And there's a comma separated list. Here, up in line 23, you're joining together the items in this string. It's sum. Now the plus sign is a concatenation operator. It's joining the two strings together.
Okay.
So let's see, I'll put left side string equals Fred. Right hand side string equals Smith. S-M-I-T-H. And then I do this. Oopsie. Let's go over here. And I type name equals LHS. Okay, let's do it this way. RHS plus quote comma plus LHS. Now, okay, now I'll do a print name. Print name. Now what's going to print is Smith, because that's our right-hand side, then the literal comma, then left-hand side. Let's run it. Enter first number 5, 8. Oh, that's okay. And notice what we got here, Smith, comma, Fred. Look at the output. See, name.
Okay.
And this plus sign is not addition, it's a concatenation operator. Why is that? Because you're joining together strings. Now let's compare this to 23 and 24. Here, let me do it this way now. Let me do this. Print.
So this is what I did.
I'm sorry?
I typed in what I did.
What you typed in is wrong because you're not separating stuff with commas. You've got to be consistent. Look, compare. Let's do this again. Okay, let me do another one. And I'll do name. Oh, that's not gonna work. All right, I can do print LHS. I'm sorry, RHS, comma, name. Well, it's what's the comma here? Comma like that. And comma again, LHS. Let's compare these two things. Run it again. Here's my output. Oopsie, let's get this out of the way. Let's 4. I've got to go into here. 5, 8. All right, now look at the difference here.
There's a
See,
space between Smith, comma.
see, this is RHS. Notice that there's no space between
I see it.
Smith and the comma, because there's no, see, you print Smith and immediately it's comma space. Then Fred. Look at this one though. It's RHS, then space, comma, space. You're printing literally, you're printing Smith right there. Then the comma, there's the comma with a space between it, and then Fred. Let me take the
I
spaces.
see.
All right. That's the difference between
So
them.
I typed it in again. I think I have it right this time.
I'm sorry?
I typed it again in the chat and I think I got it right this time.
Well, I mean, you would know if you got it right because your program would run. But okay, let's see. All right, let me see here. Oh my God. Okay, you have print first name plus first name, last name, comma, age. First name plus last name plus age. That's, okay, so yes. That's somewhat better, yes. That's yeah, you're putting spaces, but yeah, okay, that's correct. I mean, that's going to work. I mean, that's going to work. What if I? Okay, that's fine. Is that compiling? Is that running?
Yeah, that's running.
Okay. Well, now you got okay. That's you got the so that you got the idea there. Yes. So that's all it is. But that's the difference between them. I think I booked this thing for a 4. This must be the one I booked for a 4-hour chat.
The only thing I have a question, like when I print, I print first name plus last name plus age, but when it prints out, it prints my last name, then my first name, and then my age.
That's because you assigned your but you've got, that's just the way you do the assignment statements. I'm not sure what you assigned your last name to the variable first name. And you assigned your first name to the variable last name. That's if you that's the only.
So that's exactly what I did.
Yes. Okay. That. Oh my God. One moment. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I touched my face. All right, I'm back. I'm back. All right. All righty.
So I finally got it.
Well, that's great. That's all that counts.
So like the last line it's supposed to say online, is it say that it says kites, comma, Randy, space 27.
That's fine.
It have to have a comma after my last name or after my first name, right?
If you want, I don't think I specified the exact formatting for the thing or the punctuation. It's just first name, last name, age. You could put my name is blah blah and I am I'm going X years old. You could make the output string as fancy as you want. This is simply our first. Actually,
Oh, okay.
second program are going to get gradually more and more complicated. As long as you've got this stuff down here, you're good for next week. As long as you understand this part, then we're ready to go on to the next stuff next week. That's great. This is fine.
So I can put mime is and then I can put okay, that's cool.
All right. Is there anyone
Thank you so
else?
much. I appreciate your help.
Oh, I'm happy that this went so well this time. I'm glad. I'm really glad I got this thing to work. I know that. Or we'd be dead. They're threatening to mute. Okay, I'm glad this worked. I'm so happy. You have no idea how happy I am. I'm just kind of winging it though. I'm not. Well, I just got to practice more. That's all there is to that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm very frustrated with this because I don't know how to do any of it. But it's like I gotta learn as I keep going.
Well, okay. How did this go though? Are you? All right, look. The thing is, let's sort of summarize. You're creating a bunch of objects. You're actually putting a name on a bunch of memory locations. So you have, okay, name, first, last, let's do it simple. First, last, age. First name, last name, age. So those are 3 memory locations and you gave them a name. Now, those memory locations they're different, you're using those memory, you're putting different things in those memory locations. So you've got to also say what's in there and what kind of things you can put in a particular memory location. So you have a memory location for integers, a memory location for strings, a memory location for Boolean values, variables, I should say, and variables. So, and that was one thing I think we learned. The other was with our output. And so there's 2 ways we can do print. We can do print and print one string, or we can do print and print a bunch of stuff, which can be mixed. Some can be strings, some can be integers. I think those are the 2 most important things we got out of that. And then there's the fact about string literals, which is everything between quotation marks. Anyway, so let me see.
That's the thing I guess I was dealing with was that string literals.
Yes, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fair. That's great. There's a lot more. We just brushed over the easy parts for right now. There's still more stuff we got to do. We have to talk about our input and output stuff. I probably shouldn't have introduced a concatenation. Well, I probably shouldn't have introduced the concatenation operator. Okay, that was a mistake because I made you look at the plus symbol, the plus sign as 2 different things. And that was probably, I should have just kept it as the addition operator and sprung the concatenation operator on you next week. But that is life. We all make mistakes. That was just too much at the same time. Let's look here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see how many people are left. Let's see if I can consistently find. There, I can get that menu, participants, and there's just, you're the only one who hasn't muted his microphone. There's 4 other people here. Okay, I hope that, oh, wait. They've also, I got to find out what more of this stuff means. What does this mean, for example? More. Ask to start video, make host, allow, record, rename, put in waiting room, remove. I guess I can kick people out.
Yeah.
Let me just type. Are Mr. Reyes, Miss Reyes, Mr. Gonzalez, and Mr. Thatch here? Mr. Thatch, I guess, is here. They did something. Mr. Gonzalez did something. I don't know what it means when, well, fine, I'll have to find that out later. Okay, guys. I think I scheduled this thing from 4 hours from 6:50, I guess, 4 hours, Jesus, 6:50 to 10:50? Yeah, I guess from 6:50 to 10:50. I made it 4 hours. Okay, good. I mean, I just, well, the reason I asked that, because I didn't know what these symbols meant. If you could see my screen, okay, Mr. Gonzalez has unmuted his microphone for a moment, so that meant that was him. And so now I know what that means. But Mr. Gonzalez, what does it mean when you're, when the icon, the video camera icon is, or the camera icon is got a line through it? Oh, okay, fine. It's just, it's not
I
something,
usually disable my
I beg your
I
pardon?
usually just my webcam because like with webcam and sound and everything, get lots of like lag.
Okay, great. I just wanted to know it wasn't something I was doing. That's something you're doing. Great.
No.
I'm happy as I could be. Thank you. All right. Okay, this is going to go on until 10:50, and then it's going to end, I believe. We shall see. All right. I'm going to drink some more water, and I'm going to lie down for a little bit. Sorry, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'll still be able to hear you. No, I'm just going to lie down. I'm sitting in a chair, and I want to lie down on the floor and just rest for a moment. Relax.
Thank you much. I hope you have a great evening.
Well, it was a very uncomfortable chair. It's actually not a chair, it's a bench. It doesn't have a back on it, so I can't lean back. So I'm just going to read a book here. Let's see. Yes. Just if you want something, just call me. The other thing is I'm not sure what happened to, we're recording this, I assume, and so I don't know what happened to the record. And is it an audio visual record or just of audio? We shall see.
So what happened in my other classes is like it. So like when I'm a tutor also at the school, and so when I do the recording, it saves it to a server, LACCD, or wherever, whichever school you're teaching at. But you said at the beginning of it, you saved it to your computer.
I have no, I don't remember. I don't remember what okay, I was just pushing buttons at the time. I really didn't know what I was doing, but I'll look on my computer to see if I've got a new file.
And then what my
Yeah.
teachers do is they upload that to Canvas usually.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm not sure what anybody's going to get out of that, but fine. I think the videos are, but I'm not going to make any videos myself. I think the ones you find on YouTube are so much better than anything I could do. So I don't really see any point to making one. That I really can't. Well, I'm not seeing point to making one. Okay. Okie dokie. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, 5 people. So I guess I count as one of the 5. What's this? Okay. All right. Fine. As I said, it should go off at, we should stop, this thing should stop at 10:50. If you still want, I mean, I'm not, I guess, okay, let's try to stop at 10:50. And we'll think about office hours. See, I can schedule these things in advance. And so I guess I can have office hours at a certain time each day for chatting. And we can work that out next week if you wish, or we can just do, you can email me and say, I want to chat. We can just schedule something right away. Okay. All right.